Hi everyone. Today I'm recording the second video of the series with tips and support about riding with a sling after a shoulder operation or maybe a collarbone a fracture, etc. Today we'll focus on the essential things you can do to help you ride much more comfortable on the trainer despite having your arm with a sling. I'm using this now for more than 10 days and I've done about 6 rides, and I'm pretty confident that they are making riding pretty easier and quite enjoyable actually. So let's get into it. Number 1, raise the front wheel. The road bikes are configured in such a way that are more comfortable to be ridden with our body leaning forward. That's what happens when our hands are resting on the hoods or we put them on the drops, even when we put them on the bar tops. When you try to ride a road bike sitting completely upright without hands, ride hands-free, you'll soon realize that your pelvis and your whole back is put in a little bit more uncomfortable position. And that's not sustainable for long term. You can get very quickly back pain, and you can also get very different muscles engaging on your legs, which you can't ride much more than a few minutes really. By raising the front wheel, we're practically rotating the whole system, ourselves and the bicycle, in such a way where now when our torso sits upright, the pelvis is on the right angle with the saddle, or in a better angle generally. The exact amount of rotation depends on your prior position and how comfortable you are. It's really personal. You can experiment by adding and removing books under the front wheel. That's what I did. In my case, I found that a 12.5 centimeter raise of the front wheel is the optimal and makes it quite comfortable to cycle. That puts my bicycle on about 12.7% incline, which is quite steep when you think about it. Number 2, get a waterproof mesh washable sling. That's probably the number 1, but depends on what sling you have already. I've made a whole video about this. You can find the link in the comments. In a few words, having this sling that's a mesh, it's breathable, doesn't get soaked with sweat. You can have a shower with it, and it's much more cooler. I found that if you put a folded towel inside the sling in such a way that you keep a little bit of distance of your arm from your body, you can get some air circulated there between under your armpit and under your forearm, and that makes it even more comfortable. Also, the towel absorbs the sweat. For more details, click on the special video. Number 3, put a high table or desk on your side, not in front of you. If you put a desk in front of you, like most of the solutions out there for Zwifting, then in order to reach something on the table, you have to lean very forward, which means you have to use your arm to balance yourself. But you don't have another arm, so that makes that desk completely useless. Of course, unless you need to put a laptop on a desk in front of you. A desk or table on your side that is reachable while you're sitting upright on the saddle without holding the bars can be absolutely helpful. You can put there your water bottles, your controllers, your phone, anything you want, towels, etc. It's not expensive. I got mine around 60 from IKEA, but there are tons of different solutions on Amazon or elsewhere. This particular table has wheels and has shelves underneath, which is particularly useful for me. Number 4, shifting gears with a right arm injury. If, like me, you have your right arm on the sling, there is the concern that you cannot control your cassette, your air derailleur anymore, which is usually on the right arm, right hand shifter. That's gonna change quite a lot the experience of the trainer. There are a few things you can do. If you have electronic shifting, then that's the best solution for you, because you can very easily swap around left and right shifters and make the left one control the rear derailleur. And that's it, problem solved. You can use your bike and shift gears properly with your left hand. You don't care very much about the front derailleur for the majority of Zwift routes. And even if you feel the need to switch the front derailleur, you can reduce a little bit the trainer difficulty to make the terrain changes a bit less intense. If you have mechanical shifters, there are a few things you can do. First of all, if your cabling is external, it might be dead simple to switch around the shifters by switching only the cables. That involves taking out the cable of the long cable for the rear derailleur and putting it on the other side, and vice versa. As you can see here in this picture, it's absolutely straightforward. If you have internal routing, integrated cockpits and so on, that might be quite a bit of a job. Consider that your arm is going to be on a sling for maximum 6 weeks maybe, usually just 4, and that's the only time you will need to cater for the gears. It's up to you to decide whether investing in this change worth the effort. Just remember that you have to do this change probably before you get your arm on the sling. If swapping left and right shifters is not an option for you, then you can use a software solution. The easiest one is to set the trainer difficulty in 0 on the Zwift settings. When you set the trainer difficulty to 0, Zwift does not increase the resistance of the trainer when you go uphill and does not decrease it when you go downhill. What you get is a resistance that's kind of proportional to your speed, and you can control how much effort you're going to do. It might not be ideal, but it's a perfectly functional solution, and you can very easily live with it while you have your arm on your sling. 5. Being able to control Zwift and the software you run and your devices without getting on and off the bicycle. Now that's very convenient on everyday riding, but it is very important when you have a serious injury and your arm is on the sling to minimize the need to get on and off the bicycle, and especially avoid doing it in a hurry and risking slipping a little bit and suddenly trying to reach to hold yourself with the wrong arm and damage your repair. If you run Zwift on a computer, laptop, Windows or Mac, it doesn't matter, it's very useful to have a little remote keyboard trackpad to control your computer. Not only you can control all the functions on the Zwift screen, but you can also control other software you run, like you might run Discord, OBS, you might going to be running Netflix or whatever. Another thing that's very useful is to have a phone mount, so you can securely put your phone on the handlebars, and from there you can run the companion app or anything else you're going to do, like a web search, etc. Interestingly, Zwift controllers are not a good idea because they are requiring both hands to operate. So whether you do it for steering, braking, or navigating through the menus, you will need both your hands, and they're quite awkward to use. It took me about 10 days to fine-tune all these details, but it's now been 2 weeks in total since the operation, and I have been riding my bicycle without any discomfort. I can easily ride an hour or an hour and a half long, and I can push to zone 3, sometimes zone 4, as long as it's not too much. That's it. That closes our short video. I hope somebody will find useful this advice. Thank you very much for watching.